YouTube, this is Detail Dale. Welcome to this haircut tutorial. And in this video, we are going to be doing a mid-tight fade. So I hope that you guys like it. And if you do, please comment and subscribe. So we're going to put this chair cloth around him, the Mataki chair cloth, followed with a neck strip. And we're going to do a full circle so you can exactly see what he has right now, and then the end result we'll show at the end of the video. I am going to cut the sides down using the Andis attachments, number 2 attachment, before we get started. There you can see where the sides are cut down. And I'm going to go into cutting the top, creating a guideline from the front to the back. And then I'm going to notch it out, as you can see as I'm notching it out, just to create texture. He doesn't really want the top cut down, but he would like a little bit of volume and texture on top. So we're just notching the top out, but making sure everything is really nice and even. So now that that's completed, we're going to finish fading out the sides using the Andis number 4 attachment. Initially we used the number 2 attachment to bring the sides down a little bit, but now I'm working with the number 4 attachment, and now I'm using the number 3 attachment to continue blending the sides out. So now that that's completed, we're going to start the balding process, fading from the bottom up. And I'm using the Andis Slimline Pros to create my guideline, to set the guideline. And we're starting from the left side all the way around to the right side to start the initial line. And you want to make sure that, you remove all the hair around his ears and around the edges. Make sure everything is really laying nice and smooth. Especially if you're going to be following up with shavers, you want to make sure that everything is basically cut down to a stubble. So that's what we're doing. Making sure everything is just cut down completely to stubble. So now that I have the shavers, we're going to take it down even further. And these shavers by Andis, they are awesome. You can shave with them daily. They will get the job done and have your skin or your scalp baby smooth. I love these things. They're absolutely phenomenal. So now I got the Andis Pro Alloy Fades, and I'm going against the grain, and the lever is pushed all the way up. Knocking out that bottom line there, just knocking it out, nice and easy. Just knocking that line out there at the bottom. And it's only going to knock out so much of the line. Followed up with the Andis Slimline Pros. So I got these Slimline Pros here, and I don't have any of my clippers like zero gapped because I'm just so concerned about nicking the client, cutting the client, scratching the client. I want this to be a painless process for the client. So I'm going to use this Slimline Pros here to knock out that bottom line. And I have other videos on here that go more into detail about that. But you can actually use your edgers to knock out those really close lines at the bottom. You don't have to zero gap your clippers like crazy to knock out that line. I got my masters, and these are my go-tos to finish the product, or the process I should say. So now I have the zero attachment, going against the grain. And now I'm going back to the Pro Alloy Fade clippers here by Andis to blend out that line that I created with the zero attachment here at the bottom. And these clippers, these Pro Alloy Fades, they cut really smooth. I prefer to use cordless clippers because they're so much easier and you have so much more freedom and flexibility, but because these clippers are specifically manufactured and designed for fading and blending, you can't help but use them. Okay, so now I have the number 1 attachment and I'm going up against the grain and creating what I would call the final line in this fading process for this mid fade here. So now that I've put that away, I've gone back to the zero attachment just to make sure that there's no excess here that needs to be removed. So now that that's done, I'm gonna grab my number 3 attachment. And as a footnote, when you're using attachments, it is always good to start with larger attachments and just work your way down. And that's what I did here. I used the number 3 attachment and just, making sure I remove any excess hair and work my way down. So now that I've put that down, I'm going back to my number 2 attachment. And I'm just going to continue blending out. And you can see that fade disappearing right before your eyes. Just blending it on out. So now that that's completed, I will go back to the number 1 attachment if needed and work from there. So now we're going to start the lining up process. I'm using the Andis Slimline Pros to create what I would call my initial line. Look at that fade there on the side. Don't you just love it? It's just blending out really nice and smooth. So what I did was I put some lather on them and a hot towel, and now I'm using a razor. And I'm going back to my faves, Mataki scissors, and I have these Mataki Dragons to remove any excess hair around his front line before I continue the edge up process here. And of course I'm going back to the razor. And as another footnote, you don't have to use any enhancements as long as you're using powerful things like heat, water, time, straight razor. You got your clippers adjusted right. You shouldn't have any problem having a crispy edge up. So I put a little bit of gel in his hair and just a little bit of light finishing here, smoothing over everything, making sure everything is just really nice and smooth. So what do you think? Look at that fade. Look at that. Look at that. Nice blend right there on the side. He's got the length that he wants on the top. You can't tell this guy nothing. He's well on his way. Look at him. He's got that little dapper look in his face right there. He knows that he's secure. Hey guys, I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure that you comment, like, and most importantly, subscribe. Until next time, this is Detail Dale.